Okay, so picture this. You've just landed in Rome. You step out onto those beautifully worn cobblestones, and someone looks your way, smiles this warm, genuine smile, and says, Ciao! And for a split second, total panic sets in. You completely freeze. Do you say ciao back? Or is that, like, way too casual? You definitely don't want to accidentally insult a local on literally day one of your trip, right?
Well, welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today, because our main goal is to make you sound natural, confident, and culturally attuned whenever you're in Italy. We're going to completely ditch those dry, boring textbook lists that just have you memorize random vocabulary out of context. Instead, we're going to look really closely at how Italians actually interact in the real world. We'll take you seamlessly from your very first morning espresso all the way to that late-night gelato run.
Okay, let's dive into this and lay out our roadmap. First, we'll cover the casual ciao, then polite daytime and evening greetings. After that, formal versus informal questions, followed by the bounce-back rule. Then we'll tackle saying goodbye, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a quick Italian greeting quiz to test your memory.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the casual ciao.
So we are starting with arguably the friendliest but absolutely the most frequently misused word in the Italian language, ciao. It is incredibly versatile. I mean, it literally means both hi and bye. But here's the golden rule you have to remember. Italians only use it with friends, family, classmates, people roughly their own age, or basically anyone you're completely comfortable with. Pronunciation is super important here too. It's a soft ch sound, kind of like the ch in the English word church. Definitely not a hard k, so think ciao, not cow. But guys, here is a massive warning for you. The absolute biggest mistake English speakers make is using ciao with just about everyone. If you just throw it out to your hotel receptionist or a doctor or maybe an elderly neighbor, it can come off as way too overly familiar.
To really lock this in, let's bring in our favorite stop-motion animated duo to act out a perfectly appropriate casual scenario for us. Imagine you're leaving a really good friend's apartment after a long, lazy lunch. As you head out the door and wave, a warm, relaxed ciao is exactly what you need. It's friendly, it's informal, and it fits the dynamic perfectly.
Moving right along to Section 2, polite daytime and evening greetings.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is figuring out what happens when you aren't talking to your best friend. We need to look at formal greetings for shops, hotels, and total strangers so you can avoid sounding disrespectful to, say, a receptionist or a shopkeeper. There is a very strict Italian cultural rule for formal interactions. You have to match your greeting to the clock. Italians care deeply about the time of day when they say hello. If you use a morning greeting at 6 p.m., it's going to sound extremely odd to a local ear. So, at 9 a.m., the polite greeting is buongiorno. When it hits around 7 p.m., that shifts to buonasera. And by 11 p.m., if you're officially turning in for the night, it's buonanotte. Match the clock, and you automatically sound so much more local. Let's break down that daytime classic first. Buongiorno. It literally translates to good day. You're going to use this from the early morning straight through the early afternoon. Just think of it as your absolute go-to polite hello for anyone you don't know well. And pronouncing it smoothly is actually pretty easy if you just break it up. Start with buon, sounding like the English word bun, and then giorno, where the G sounds like the J in journal. Buongiorno.
Let's see this in action. Our stop-motion duo is showing a woman walking into a neighborhood bakery at exactly 9 a.m. The baker looks up and she confidently offers a really polite, bright buongiorno. It just sets this wonderful, respectful, pleasant tone for the entire transaction right off the bat.
But, as the day cools down, the language shifts. Enter buonasera. This literally means good evening. Italians usually transition to this in the late afternoon or early evening, right around the time the light begins to change outside and those daytime shops start closing up. It is just wonderfully polite, warm, and absolutely perfect for interacting with strangers at night. Try to say it really smoothly, just letting the words flow together seamlessly. Buona sera.
Let's check in on our animated duel again. This time, they're arriving at a beautiful, dimly lit restaurant at 7 p.m. for dinner. Stepping through the doors, they don't say buongiorno, no. Instead, they greet the host with a smooth buonasera. They've successfully matched the clock and set the absolute perfect level of formality for the evening.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds. Formal versus informal questions.
Okay, so simply saying hello is great, but knowing how to ask how are you correctly is your next absolutely crucial step. We've got the informal, come stai,
contrasted with the formal come sta. The spelling and pronunciation differences here are subtle, but trust me, they are incredibly important. Come stai is what you use with friends. Notice how the end of stai rhymes with I. But if you want to be respectful with a stranger, or maybe an elder, you drop that I entirely and use a shorter, clipped ah sound. Come sta. It's the exact same question, but with an entirely different level of respect embedded right into it.
Watching our stop-motion duo in a formal hotel lobby really cements this usage. Approaching the concierge desk, the guest doesn't just say hello, she asks, Buongiorno, come sta? By intentionally using that formal come sta, she immediately signals respect and politeness to the staff member. It's a small touch, but it goes a really long way.
Which brings us to Section 4, the bounce-back rule.
So a major mistake English speakers make during conversations is answering bene, which means well, and then just awkwardly stopping. It leaves this terrible dead air. So the crucial point is mastering this really simple three-step sequence. Step 1 is answering bene. Step 2 is showing appreciation, grazie, which means thank you. And step 3 is the magic bounce back. E tu, meaning and you, if you are in an informal setting, or e lei, if you are being formal. That little return question bounces the conversational ball right back over to the other person. It honestly makes the whole exchange feel culturally complete rather than blunt and awkward.
Let's watch our stop-motion duo having an informal coffee at a cafe to see this in practice. One friend asks, come stai? The other executes the absolute perfect three-step bounce back. Bene, grazie, e tu. See, it's rhythmic, it's polite, and it keeps the friendly momentum of the conversation perfectly alive.
Almost at the end here, Section 5, saying goodbye in Italy.
Because honestly, knowing how to confidently exit an interaction is just as important as starting one. While ciao works perfectly for your friends, polite daytime goodbyes actually require arrivederci. To pronounce it properly, just remember that the C at the very end sounds just like a key in English. Arrivederci. You would use this when leaving a shop or a cafe during the day. Now, in the evening, you can actually simply repeat buonasera as you walk out the door. Or if you're parting ways and people are literally heading home to go to sleep, you switch to the much warmer buonanotte.
And this brilliantly illustrates why we need Section 6, the Italian greeting quiz. Let's lock in all this fantastic knowledge with a super quick, rapid-fire mental quiz. Okay, here is the scenario. You're wandering through Rome, taking in the sights, and you walk into a beautiful local store. You check your watch, and it is exactly 10 a.m. What is the polite greeting you should use to announce yourself to the shopkeeper? I'll pause for just a second to let you actively retrieve the answer from memory. Got it?
If you instantly thought buongiorno, you are absolutely correct. Because it's morning time, and because you're in a formal setting with a shopkeeper, buongiorno is exactly what you need to say. Fantastic job remembering those formal daytime rules.
To ensure you never freeze up on your trip, here is your ultimate memory cheat sheet. With friends, it's ciao for both hello and goodbye. During the day, in a polite setting, it's buongiorno to greet and arrivederci to leave. What about a polite evening? Buonasera works beautifully for both saying hello and parting ways. If you just remember these simple patterns, you literally have the key to leaving your hotel with complete confidence.
Look at what you can do already. You can greet people correctly from morning to night, you can ask how they are, and you can say goodbye respectfully. But let me leave you with this one final thought. You now know exactly how to walk into a cafe and greet the barista, but do you actually know how to order your first coffee like a true local? We're going to tackle exactly that in our next explainer. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Until then, get out there, keep practicing, and ciao for now.